What is up? Welcome back to the channel. This is another video here from the December round robin low winter tournament. And today it's Hero versus Parappa. So Hero's here in the teal playing the Geonosians, and Parappa's here in the orange playing the Black Sun. And it's a pretty snowy looking map. Got some ice, but fortunately they do have trees spawning around, because I remember a lot of these ice starts used to have problems with trees not spawning on the foundations. You need your trees at the start of the game. A lot of nerfs that they can put in the nurseries. Get that food production going, keep the workers being made. And there seems to be a few tauntauns that are wandering about. Not really catching any lure though. It's got a very tundra feel to it, this map. Just without the annoying ice that would spawn on tundra. It's kind of cool map. It's very open in the centre, and the tree lines are kind of small actually. Got sort of a maze feel, but the corners there seems to be a lot of trees, so you maybe just want to like boom towards the corners and sort of split the map that way if it gets that long enough into the game. I'll speed it up to get through T1, because once they've punched through these tauntauns, it's probably going to be a few farms, but then again, there's a lot of nerfs to go in the nursery, so they might manage to squeeze out a Mountie or two before they start having to build farms. Oh, there's food stockpile as well. That'll give you a little bit of leeway, so it's definitely going to be a very good Mountie map, since there's just enough food to make some Mounties and keep making workers before you need to transition to some farms. I see a little bit of scout luring, at least an attempt here from Hero. Get a little bit closer. The tauntaun though just wanted to sort of zigzag and be very confusing and not listen to the herding ability of the scout there. Oh, that's a poor man's carbon. Oof. Poor carbon all around. It's potentially even worse. But yeah, as you can see, not much trees at the start, so they will have to crawl towards the centre bit. Honestly curious if Hero should have just walked a little bit further and gone into here. I do like Hero's a little bit better, just on the basis that this is kind of going to run out quite quickly, and then you need to get a new spot. And I think you would rather just be already building towards where the carbon is. So you could theoretically be here with a carbon processor, food processor here, and then you're sort of walling towards this point as well. And you're building your defensive buildings around here. And then you do have a Nova that's actually quite close to command center. And this seems like nice to have all these things in the same area, right? And you can play ahead of defending them. But troop center down here. Troop center power core for Parappa as well. So both players, their early troop center is probably going to be building Mounties. Got Mounties out of Hero, Mounties out of Parappa. And Parappa's already out. Walling across. Heroes is out, but it's just sitting at home. Geonosians are going to have the edge here though, right? Because of the Nova having basic training for free, which means their workers are already at max HP. And then they have extra Nova to build Mounties with, but Parappa's going to get on top of Hero's economy here first because he was out on the map quicker. And by the time that Hero gets to Parappa, there could be defensive Mounties. I'm not seeing any. And not really seen any more than one out of here from Parappa. Which is going to kind of be a mistake for him here because his is getting run down. And Hero could build up to 5, but he does actually have workers running by with the Nova, so he can make infinite amount of Mounties if he wants. And this guy's been sort of lapping around the base, looking for an area to harass. Wasn't really on the Nova or the food stockpile, he's just been farming. Farming is nice and safe right now, but he's going to have a problem defending his workers at the carbon here. There's one Mountie. 2 are just sitting idling in the centre, and 1 over here as well. If all 4 right now converged on the carbon, this would be an absolute disaster here for Parappa, but he's actually been given a lot of time. I don't know if this is a good spot to actually be building Mounties again now. He's so behind in the count. I feel like he just needs his 3 trooper recruits. bashing this one down. Sort of a team effort there from the workers, the scout and the mountie. 2 more do funnel in, but Hero does have another one, but not quite microing very well here. Does need to focus these mounties down. Well, he's got the numbers advantage. It's 3v2. He runs away. Was it full health there? I think he could have finished that one first. And he is going to leave this location. But he should find himself quite a bit ahead in card. He's even built 3 trooper recruits, which is absolutely unnecessary here. They will help now though, but if he'd just been building mounties with that production, I think he could have completely overwhelmed Parappa. It's not like Nova was a problem, because he had like 2 or 3 workers running back. It's only 2 now. We'll see a counterattack from Parappa making his way across the map here. Goes on to the workers here at the food processor. Kills one of them. Seems to be very low, maybe from the earlier raiding. And Hero seems a little bit slow to react here. He's not pulled his workers at all. And he might lose 2 and maybe even 3 workers. They do actually just make it away as the mounties come in here and take up some of the damage. Parappa might be happy to kill off those mounties though, because it's less mobility here for Hero. Hero is T2 though. Has gotten his trooper upgrade, he's getting his range, and he can counterattack with these 4 troopers now, which could be a problem for Parappa. He's trying to get his walls up. It's second troop center, he should be on the way to T2, I imagine. Halfway there. And as much as his walling can be good in these 1v1s, it might be a problem on this map when he needs good carbon spots. Which is why I think if he'd played towards the carbon from the start, he'd have a much easier time with this. Because now he's sort of creating a little fortress here, but there's nothing in it in terms of carbon. And Hero's going to get a good trade here, having the upgrades. Killing off all the troopers here for Parappa. And making his way to that carbon. Parappa trying to desperately close this off, but I think there's probably a gap here, is there? No. That guy walked all the way around. Parappa going to lose a worker. Just a lot of economic pressure from this aggression for Hero. And I think he just needs to close out things here. Oh, there is a gap. Oh dear. Let's let him, he has to delete a bit of his wall to get over here quicker. There should be another worker going down. These guys are missing, they're like stormtroopers. Wow, luckiest worker there. Troopers do go down, but there are more on the way. And they know about this little hole here. Parappa should really get that closed as soon as possible. And they might actually collide here. No, here it does just sneak around, and he might get through that hole again then if he hasn't closed it off. And Hero's not paying attention to his army, he's missing his window here because Parappa's actually started rebuilding this wall. Alright, he's going to catch him. Make it through. Parappa not doing any quick wall here. These troopers are on the way though, they should intercept these. Hero not chasing the workers down. And those troopers will get cleaned up. Back at home though, it looks like it should be time for just going T3 with the leads that Hero's gained here. He's able to cut corners because he's been trading so well with his troopers, and you know he's only actually 1 troop center as well. Parappa being double troop center and getting terrorized for the moment. He will be looking to counterattack though. This would be his window to do some damage as Hero tries to get a second building up so he can click the button to go up to tech level 3. And he does start that, so he's got to weather this storm though as Parappa comes to raid him here. And things are a little bit open, particularly around this area. But he is making some troopers as well, so I think maybe by the time that he does have a serviceable amount of troopers to clean this up, his ore could be exposed here if Parappa sneaks around that way. And it's not just a few workers there as well, it's 5. It's almost like he's angling to get a fortress when he hits T3 and get those Geonosian warriors out for their raiding ability. This guy building a house does get shot here. Parappa will be trying to go around. And Hero needs to keep an eye on this and run his workers away prematurely so he doesn't lose them. He's at least trying to harass the farm workers. Doesn't quite know about this area up here. Just a lot of exposed eco. Parappa's maybe playing a bit too safe now. He just doesn't have the game sense, the sense that somebody could be going T3 at this point. He's trying to conserve his troopers, but ultimately he's going to wish that he went and raided with them right now. Trying to be too sneaky. Hero does hit T3, and you can see that behaviour changes immediately, and he's just trying to go in and kill workers now because he knows that there'll be a strike mech coming. And air base does go down here. Strike mech out as well, so between the troopers and the strike mech they're going to go down, but he did get a worker or two. And Hero needs to make use of his little bit of a lead here in T3 because Parappa did do quite well, cut some corners and get up to T3 behind him. Carbon not looking great though. Hero on the other hand should do maybe another carbon processor over here as well because these guys are walking miles. Especially these guys that work around these prefab shelters. And we see the air, so there'll be fighters and strike mechs looking to pick Parappa apart here. I think ordinarily in a game like this with Parappa and his light wall system, he probably wouldn't be as harassable by strike mech, but because of this the wood on this map, the carbon, there's little gaps and angles around the walls to hit him. So a mech destroyer out, chasing the strike mech away. What the strike mech's doing though is giving a lot of scouting information for the fighters, but unfortunately Hero not making use of that and almost losing both of his fighters here. Yeah, the troopers might actually kill this mech destroyer. They're getting it very, very low. Oh, down goes the fighter. But 2 anti-air turrets here for Parappa, and he's just sort of forced, even in a heavy weapons factory, he's just forced to be very, very defensive right now, rather than get command center. And Hero on the other hand has started a second command center and gone up. So he should be economically pulling ahead, and even a third anti-air turret here for Parappa. He's playing really turtleish here, which means he is going to fall behind economically. But he will be able to protect what he has right now, but it's going to be a problem when he wants to move further out. So maybe that's what he'll have to use his A mobile production for it. He does make one. All Hero really needs to do here is just keep an eye on the army here, because Parappa could counterattack, you know, building up these mech destroyers, strike mechs. If he brings an anti-air mobile as well, that means he can't be chased away with a bomber. So Hero just needs to keep an eye on the intentions of Parappa here, make sure he doesn't really get all in by some sort of attack like that. He's got his own mech destroyer at home. And just keep getting ahead, right, with his double worker production. Which, to be honest, could be a third. Maybe this guy's going to go over and make another command center. They are walking kind of far. Menacingly far. Like, I'm going to go build a fortress far. Does have 550. I think it's maybe a little bit early to do this in this position, but it's not a bad thing. As long as he has enough standing army so that he's not just freely trading these units away to Parappa, because that may actually give him an angle back in the game. The alternative really would be just to make a new command center with those guys. Just wait a little bit more, get some upgrades and get a few more mech destroyers out, and then go and do this. Because right now these are almost comparable armies. Let's have the fighters here waiting. We can't ambush. If you kill the mechs, the anti-air mobile, that'd be helpful, but he needs to watch the mech destroyers because there's 2 here. Very low. But not really microing at all. He's killing the strike mechs or something. He's shooting the one that's not low. A bit of a disaster. He might actually cleans up both though if he focuses. If he focuses, which he's not, and now panic pulling them back. And this guy's on 8 HP and has been the entire fight. So I think Hero could have won that very comfortably if he did a little bit of micro there. And I think those workers just have to run back now. He's completely changed his tune. He's making his fortress in a defensive position now. He's sort of misreading things, I think. So Parappa now going to be dropping the double command centers to try and catch up now. See, I think all that sort of premature attacks really done is just given Parappa a bit more of an angle back into the game now, because he's going to be a little bit safer for a while now. Does have to watch for these fighters though. If they get round into this spot, that's going to be a disaster for him. He's pressuring with his units, and Hero really needs to pay attention and make sure that he needs to shoot this blooming mech destroyer. 8 HP, terrorizing him. He's almost lost this one. Sometimes the micro is very important in this game. And here it just shouldn't be under this level of duress with how ahead he is. I can hear his workers die. The 4 HP and the 8 HP invading. And no response from the units. Too busy microing his air around, I think, losing it to the turrets. Gonna force another turret here though, at the very least, but he's already lost like 5 workers here, just not garrisoning and paying attention to them. 4 MDs at home. See, now would have been a good time to just go and push and build his fortress. Oh, it looks like he was trying to stop Parappa building a fortress, maybe that's how he lost his air. So he was tunneled on. That fortress is going to go up though, it's just like 75 health from finishing. So you can think about what you might do on this map, in this spot, particularly this hero here. I'm going to clean this up, is you might crawl towards and actually cut your opponent off from the carbon. But it's more than likely, because he walled this side and he's been building a lot of things in infrastructure this way, you want to be here. So you need to just get in this position and cut them off. And just forgo that fortress completely as well. Hero does have a lot of mech destroyers, and he just needs to be trading. He needs to be pressing Parappa here. Because it looks like economically Hero's falling apart a bit with his mechanics. He's got way too many on this ore pile here. These guys were idle for a long time. He wasn't paying attention when these guys were dying. And he could have a lot more farms right now. He's funneling all of his carbon into like units just now. Well, if a lot of these guys were on carbon, it would really help things out. He's getting a holocron, that'll be nice for him. Parappa did move out here, but he's going to see that there's an awful lot of units here for Hero. Bringing more anti-air mobiles, but I don't think they really matter too much anymore. He's not been hitting them too much for the fighters anymore, after losing a lot of them. All that really matters now is just having enough mech destroyers and such. The artillery is going to be really nice trading into these armies, but Hero is just not paying attention to things. Army not with the workers trying to get across to make a fort. What are you looking at this point? Like, these workers are going to get killed for free. Maybe you can get around behind the army and catch some units here. There's a couple of mech destroyers, there's an artillery exposed. At least get some benefit out of it. Parappa going to be taken ahead in the score now because he's just built all these farms and he's constantly building workers. And Hero's mechanics will be failing him a little bit, I think. Because we can see a lot more farms are needed and not being built. And it almost looks like he's heading straight towards the fortress. Parappa will be thinking about getting into the wood line now, I think. He needs to stop that happening. Parappa's certainly got the means to make a lot of MDs now as well, so Hero's kind of lost his advantage. This fortress will be nice if he manages to get that up. Like, try and cut him out of this wood area. But I think what we're going to see here is Parappa on the way to T4 before Hero, because Hero's just not built up that food income. So even if he does get this up, there's a fortress already here, the cannons could come out, and it's going to be difficult for Hero to pressure. Hiroshika's all over the place. So much ore, Nova, but just so little food. Farms and food production has just been completely neglected. I don't even think the food overheads are that high either. The artillery actually outranging. Or it's just shooting the wrong thing. Oh, it's shooting at the one in the shield. Should be able to hit a lot of these. It's 9 range, V9 range. You're going to try and flank the army here. A bold move. It does get a good volley of shots here. Both fortresses being annoying to the units here. That Parappa is T4. He has lost a lot of his sort of fodder mixtures and such, but he can build cannons now and just sit here and knock this position down with the cannons. Here we're going to build another shield generator, but he's kind of trapped in T3. Food nowhere near close enough to get him teched up. Could always do some spaceport. It's not going to feel good, but you know it might be necessary in this position because here comes the first cannon. Going to be building another fortress. Trying to fling out some geos, that actually might do some damage, to be honest. That'd be kind of good. Let's see how he gets on here. Hopefully he just doesn't fly into any anti-air. At the same time, Hero's going to be attacking this position. He runs him in the Mounties. I don't know if there's much strike mechs at all. So they're actually going to blow up the artillery very quickly. They're getting really on in that position. And where'd that geo go? He's just not... He's going to go into turrets. No! Go here! Killed so many workers over there. It's a shame, but he is killing off all the artillery. He did get heavy artillery here for Parappa, but neglecting having anything to kill the Mounties here. It's been a very good tech switch from Hero. And he has managed to click up that button, so this is going to feel great for him now. Because he's managed to crush that position there. He's not actually sitting being peppered by cannons. Doesn't quite have the DPS to knock down the fortress very quickly though, so he may have to wait for his T4. Does have a few more artillery that can come and help out. But these Mounties just keep coming in, and Parappa doesn't really have the infrastructure. He could be making some troopers, which would be good. I think sometimes people just think they need to make strike mechs. But when you've got 2 troop centres, it'd be good production. And there's the geos now, in that nice spot where there's just no anti-air turrets. And I think that's going to be absolute doom here. Nope, not going to happen. Surely not. Double, no, surely not. Oof. Let's get it up, but so many have died. And at this point, Hero could actually just put some units here as well. Just seems to be an army of strike mechs now for Parappa, over-responding to the Mountie threat. But look how much artillery are out here for Hero. He's really sort of pulled it back with his eco. He's still kind of lacking on farms. I think he needs to make more. Particularly going into the late game, because this is just not really enough. And there's nothing wrong with having good food income as Geos, because you've got to get Geonosian Diligence, which buffs your workers further in T4, and it's a lot of food to drop. Got all your upgrades, you've got full mech upgrades basically, it costs a lot of food. And you can make beasts as well. Obviously you're making Mounties. There's a lot of food overheads really with Geos, so having good farms is important. I've lost quite a few of his artillery here. Might have to pull back a little bit and just sort of get his upgrades. Does have the heavy artillery now, so I can match Parappa's, but Parappa not really got like a good shield here in this position. What shield he does have is buildings are there. And Hero could start putting out the cannons now, I think, and that'd probably be the best thing for him to do in this spot, yeah. Start knocking down this position. Use the tree line to defend them a little bit. And Parappa going to call GG there. He just doesn't have the... He's sort of burned out, I think, with his resources. And He's sort of stuck in this position. That's pretty entertaining. So we'll head into is the second game because they played 3 games. And the second one here is 4 lakes. We know all about 4 lakes. There's 4 lakes on it. Teal first order here for Hero. That'll be best save, and then we got Wookiees here for Parappa and the orange. A couple of shacks, a lump. Interesting. Very open in this area. But both sides looking kind of open in this one. Rush distance. Not too much. Both players are, it's kind of balanced in how it spawned them. You know, they're both about the same amount of distance from the water and everything. Nobody's got a ridiculously easy wall off. There are nerfs, so it's probably going to be Mounties, right? It's Mounties in the shipyards, more than likely. The food as well is very good for Mounties. You can lure these shacks. There's actually kind of a lot of food, really. If you lure all of these, because that's like 1,200. Then you got 300 from the flumps, that's like 1,500 food. Then you got your nerfs. So like 16 nerfs. Wow. Crazy amount of food on this one. So with 16 nerf, yeah, you probably just need like 2 or 3 workers on food. The rest on carbon. To get your Mountie as fast as possible. 16 can sustain. Could be really fast T2s as well though, I think. With 16 nerf and all those shacks, if you lure them, you could go for like a defensive troop center into fast T2 and then counterattack. No, he wasn't having it. He didn't want to be domesticated. Shack does as he pleases. And there's the carbon. Not the bad carbon. Right up against the edge, they could close this out fairly easily. But not really seeing troop center out of anyone. You could afford it. I might have light here from heroes to build here, and then light wall, and then keep some of the water open so you can like build a shipyard and sort of wall around it, insulate it a little bit. But I'm going to be starting this light walls. I think these players are actually just not going to go for the minis. For a straight up all natural game. But I just find this crazy. You got 4 of your workers in T1 just walling things right now. What are you up to? It's a lot of idle things. I mean, even they got 20 workers, 19 really. Got like a quarter of them walling things. So food processor. Is he not seeing these shacks? Not getting these ones.
Whatever it takes.
Early Nova. For T3. Troop center already down here for hero. Just make food processor for the shacks. Not a terrible thing. He's using a scout to go and find his opponent. Keep an eye on him. It's not like 1,000 food. 100 carbon for 1,000 food. Not terrible. If you were on the ball earlier though, you could just like lure them all with the scout. Then this could be here for the foods, the berries. But it's a negligible lead. He's keeping an eye on the lakes, see if his opponent's fishing, but neither of them are fishing right now. Parappa is trying to just T3. Oh, he does see the building foundation. T3 and wall things out. Now, what Hero could do is rush, but he seems to be a little bit slow getting his troopers out and stuff because he has T2. 3 troopers. What would be good here is he sends his 3 troopers and he makes a Mountie, and he uses the Mountie to just delete the wall, and then he walks in. Getting range now. I think you just even skip the range, you just get the Mountie right now. Quicker you get it, the quicker you get your troopers in, and you do some economic damage. And if you look at his food as well, they can just, after that, just get his buildings. So you don't want to just be sitting here having to... So he's forcing a turret, which is nice. You change location, right? You force that turret, you walk up here and you bring the Mountie. But we're not seeing any of that, so it's a little bit of a squandering of an opportunity. Because these guys are going to take too long to get through a light wall. You're not getting his buildings yet. There's the first. There's the watch, because Parappa almost halfway now. Looks like he will be going for fighters, I think. A lot of Nova. Build his power core. Doesn't have a lot of workers on Carb though. It's a carbon infrastructure. So the TF3 is so much quicker than normal, so the workers just haven't really been bringing home enough resources. You can use the spaceport to maybe buy some carbon. Maybe it's just going to be one airbase. Oh, he didn't build a mech factory, that's interesting. War center. That's kind of a mistake, I think. Because he could just be one airbase and pumping out strike mechs. He's going to have to go double airbase here for the aggression. Hero almost T3 himself. Just there's going to be the fighter production coming his way. I think you're going to clean up these troopers very easily. Here has pumped out a few anti-air troopers. He just needs to watch how difficult it is for him to walk to his Nova, to his carbon, because his Nova is very exposed. He's going to be getting double airbase himself to defend things. Fighter's going to get on here and harass his farming worker, make sure he doesn't lose it. He's just 2 shots from death there. Should get his airbase up before he needs to garrison these, but 3 fighters now, quite a lot of DPS, he's going to lose 2, maybe even 3 workers here if he's not paying attention. Does lose 3. And then you got the mobility here. 4. 5. It's going to feel kind of bad being on one command center losing that many. There's an opportunity to maybe kill this fighter here. If he runs them both. He needs to take those kind of trades while he can. It's just a freebie. Build up a few more fighters and defend. Parappa will be lacking in ore, so what Hero could do is just look for an opportunity to clean up these fighters and then counter-attack. As you can see, he's got the anti-air turret here and here. Access to his ore, but Parappa's walled his ore out. And what little he's got left, he's spending on the command center. So he's going to be very, very reliant on his own fighters to defend his base. So if he makes a mistake and he sort of gets like stack wiped, he's going to be in trouble. Or something like this as well is bad for him. Hero can sort of freely move out, right? He's got the anti-air troopers, he's got the double turrets. Parappa just doesn't have any anti-air defense. And yeah, in a scenario like this, he feels like he maybe has to go and hit him, but he can't because there's a turret there. And that's just so many workers dead now, that's really evened out the worker count. Probably put Hero ahead as well. Parappa's going to have to try and get as many fighters out as he can to take a trade with these fighters. And then that's all of his carbon production completely shut off now. And that's not a great trade. He needs to pull everything back and Except that he has to take that concession. He has to take this trade now. And this is still kind of bad for Parappa, losing like fighters like that. Does clean everything up. Again, the lower the fighter counts are, the easier it will be for Hero to move out and do the same thing again. So Parappa's eco will be a little bit shell shocked there. Does have his 2 command centers though already. Hero just started his second one. And both of them, I think they're just kind of working on themselves here. Just taking stock and having a think about what they're going to do next. Parappa feels the need to maybe move out on the map again, but it's risky. He's maybe thinking he's got more fighters, or he just wants to take a fight. But the same thing's about to happen again. I don't even know if Hero could see him there, but it certainly works to his advantage when this happens. As he moves across again to the Novas. It's going to be the same. Oh, Hero's pulling back. He shouldn't pull back. Doesn't need to. He should just keep repeating the same scenario over and over, because it's so to his benefit. He's trying to wipe the air, but the Parappa's just going to fly away from him, I think. Oh, he takes the trade! He does win it. Hero's been properly making his fighters now. A little bit of a lapse in production. Doesn't have a lot on Nova, I suppose, at this point. That's going to feel a lot better for Parappa now. Because he's way ahead in fighters. And he gets to sneak out now and get the command center. I think if Hero just kept raiding him there, that would have been so good. See, now Hero feels he has to be super defensive of his fighters. Can't really contest Parappa anymore. But Parappa's really cut corners, let's be honest, not having any turrets. And yes, he did lose some workers, his production does get on, but things are going to even out now, because remember he had this second command center ahead of time. He's been allowed to get his third one up for Hero here as well. And he's won a couple of air trades now. And he's sneaking around looking for opportunity to raid more workers. You're actually sending strike mechs out, which is kind of good to tech switch up a little bit, force some extra or so. But carbon workers are getting culled here. And with no lag, it's quite easy to move around and just kill them one at a time. And Hero's kind of backing off on his fighter production as well. He certainly can't scale the same way that Parappa can. Oh, don't go into the turret, man. Why? Just donated them for free. Knocks them off the Nova, but you know, it'd be better to hit this or run into the back of the base. Because you have to realise there's no mech factory for Parappa here. None at all. So strike mechs would be so good, we just need a little bit of armour and just a handful of them, and it can cause a lot of damage, but it keeps running through the turret. And one at a time as well with the fighters there. Not the best. Kind of defensive fortress here from Hero. I don't think that's what you want to be doing here against an air civ, because you're kind of letting have all these fighters and build up their economics. It would have been good to have kept building the fighters, use the strike mechs to distract your opponent, and then get your workers over here. And a fortress in this location would spell kind of disaster, because it's gonna it knocks off all the Nova piles, all three of them. Parappa's just gonna go and get the build either a fortress or a command center here. A fortress, and he almost like he's thinking about that. Doesn't want to lose his Novas. Hero not paying attention to his fighters here. He does kill a few workers, but that's not a bad trade he got there, actually. But this opportunity is just completely clammed shut now. Parappa, fortunately, he's just building all his farms now. So in a little bit he will be going T4. Hero could go T4 before him though, which would be great for him if he can get his anti-air just sorted. Because then he won't have any fear of getting raided to death by T4 air. But I think he was just enormously well set up to just fortress here and lock Parappa down. Parappa now, he's going in the troopers, building up berserkers. Interesting. And our strike bank's out. Our Ren initiate has been grabbing the holocrons. Both been on the holos. And 4 troop centers here. Kind of expensive to go troops off the bat here when you haven't been playing a normal trooper game, T1, T2. It takes a while to... Berserker's running in here, chasing down these strike mechs. But there's fighters and there's a fortress and they're going to have to run straight back out. Here, almost T4. Parappa has started it as well though, after building all those farms. Trying to get all those trooper upgrades, so he's just going to go straight into repeaters, it would seem. No artillery. An interesting one. Here at the very least, he's got all these strike mechs. He's on this hill. Could trade quite well in this army. A few micros. You're running past it, which I don't like. You're running melee mode into it. Okay. Well, that's a disaster. That should have been like a complete win for the strike mechs. Blaming the Civ for that? No, no, no. That's... what are you doing? Civ does suck, but come on. You just sit on the top of this hill, and you pressure this position, you're T4, you bring a cannon, you start peppering things, and to be honest, you just stay on the strike mechs just now, if your opponent's going to make all these troopers. But losing all that infrastructure, he's kind of just doomed here, I think. Parappa's T4, he's gotten a lot of his upgrades started now. Decent standing army, he can get into a good position, guarantee it with his forces, and get shield down and start hammering things with the cannon. I don't think Hero's really set up to contest it. These 5 troop centers are going to produce things a lot quicker than the few mech factories he's got. Just the 2. The Padawan on Ren initiate action here. If they're both going for the same holocron. Who do you think will win? This could be the most interesting thing to happen in this game. Oh. The Ren initiate never plays fair. But Parappa's taking the hill, and with a cannon on the hill, he's going to start hitting this fortress. And it's going to be enormously difficult for Hero to knock the cannon out of this position. And it's just going to sit here all day, just hitting the fortress, killing it all. And it is customary that 44 minutes into the video I remember that I have a cup of coffee. And he's just going to GG there. As I said, he didn't really have anything to contest after throwing away his units. It's a really, really bad blunder. First order do stuck, but, you know, I think there you could just go into the strike mechs. Don't get heavy, but you can build up a core of them and then add things in. Assault mech would be kind of good to add in as well. I don't think I like someone going into troopers so quickly on Wookiees when you can just make heavy artillery for so little investment, and it's so strong against everything until there's a lot of upgrades in the field. And I'm going to game 3, the final one. This is like 4 lakes at home, as the kids say with their memes. What's going on here? Cursed 4 lakes, 4 ponds, 4 lagoons, 4 bodies of water. There's a little bit of a hill in the centre though. Some Nova, some more. Cool thing to fight over a little bit. It's like 4 lakes with an objective in the centre. It's kind of cool. Parappa, Black Sun, Orange, and Blue Trade Federation here for Hero. Our bounties. There are a couple of trees. We see the forbidden build. Who knows? Kind of a defensive one though, like the tree lines are it's very easy to wall on this one. You could do like a T3 with like fishing. Kind of easy on this maybe. TF though, I guess you can't build your prefabs, but the light walls are stronger. Would fear the Mounties though. The new lure. Got a couple of nerfs being munched here by Hero. Just looks like it's the blue frogs. There are shorefish opportunities though. For both. I don't know if you can reach that one. That's a lie. That's not a shorefish. But there are some decent ones. They're very quick with the fishing rods. Good food income. Where are you off to? You on the shipyard? Oh, you go for the shorefish. That'd be good for Hero. I had his blue frogs for dinner there though. The chubbas. They do hop around very menacingly. Let them go. What's the plan? He's already got his light walls going. At all times he must have a significant percentage of his population building light walls. A farm? Oh, there's a flump. Where's the flump at? Secret flump. Oh, what the? Oh. Blame me for not finding that, really. It's going to have to be one of those scenarios where you come past your opponent's command center, see there's a flump set, and go, where's mine? And then go look for it. The shorefish will do him right, though. Good early, consistent food income. I'm assuming Parappa here is actually just going to start farming once he's eaten this 1% the way that he's built his food processor, because there's berries right here, and he's just said, no, I'm not going to have the berries. Does he scout them? Yeah, he doesn't know about them. Troop center already down here for Hero, and I think it might be making a Mountie. Just unpowered one, yeah, he just started it. Power's here as well, though. And he's going to get on the farms as well. This isn't bad though, the farms and the shorefish. I think Parappa might be doomed. He's just built. This is like a build order loss, really. If Hero just keeps making Mounties, this is a build order loss. Because he's just put 100 carbon into this food processor now, so this was a complete grief. Because if he gets that 100 carbon now, he can make a troop center. So he's got light walls, but light wall versus Mountie. He's gonna have to start building things behind it. So that's more carbon. There's more time not getting a troop center as the Mountie count gets larger and larger. And he is running the workers back to the Nova. And all you have to do is keep moving on. I don't know why he's chasing the scout though. Just needs to get both Mounties on the walls. Right, you just move from this location, you go here now. And you keep making your opponent burn carbon until you catch them. And the thing is, like some of these walls, like this one on the corner, you can get like 4 or 5 Mounties around it. These ones you can only get about 2 on. But it's going to be significant more DPS, so if you just ran up here with 4 Mounties, you can kill this before he can run a worker over. And then you're in. So people need to look for in these scenarios. You don't sit and kill the poop, just kill this end bit. And you're in. Goes the wrong one. Oh, you can get 4 on this as well. Oh. So diagonal ones are bad as well. Oh no. He's in. Never realised that with the diagonal ones. I guess it makes sense. Because they can technically cover more area somehow than these. It's a weirdness to it. I can't quite explain. I don't have the degrees in geometry. This doesn't look very good at all. No troop center. He gets in here and it's just like, it's just got to create a killing zone for the Mounties to kill his workers. Disaster. See a troop center anywhere. Got a little bit of an anticlimactic final game here, but it looks like Hero's going to take it. It's forced to try and bash the Mounties to death. It's like, it wouldn't be so bad if there was, you know, like a troop center getting built somewhere. He is T2, you can make a turret, but he doesn't have any carbon. He's blown so much on houses. He's just going to call it GG. More Mounties there. And that's going to be the end of it. So I hope you've all enjoyed that. If you do like the content, please consider leaving a like on the video, leave a comment on the channel, helps the channel grow. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like. Find out more content coming your way when I release it. If you want to get involved in these types of games, you'll find our GBG Discord link down below. You can join in and maybe join these in the future. You'll find the Expanding Fronts Discord as well, which is the mod that we're playing here. And if you want to support the channel in another way, you'll find a PayPal link down below. Merry Christmas everyone, take care, bye bye.